Hello and welcome back to Portugal. Now if you caught my last video, you'll know that I'm here with my friend Shanna in the town of Setúbal. And you do these little tours of your city because you love it, don't you?
Yes, I love it here, and I'm always happy to show off the town of Setúbal to anybody who wants to see it.
And you've got this little nickname now, Shanna's Bossy Tours.
Yes.
And I asked if she could give all of us a brief tour, highlights of Setúbal. So where are we? Let's start straight away.
Let's start. Okay, well, we are in the Jardin De Bonfim, which is right in the kind of the heart of town. I consider it the lungs of the city.
Yeah.
There are 300 or more trees here, and it's a lovely place to be. Winter, summer, fall, or spring. Shall we take a look?
Show us around. Let's
All right.
go.
Okay, so as you can see, we've got some lovely autumn foliage here in Jardin De Bonfim. In fact, there's some surprise trees here. There's a couple of pomegranates, and we've got some lemon and oranges. So it's always fun to watch the seasons as things come into bloom and then as the winter starts to come on. We have a lovely pond filled with ducks and friends, and then there's a cafe here which we're all in the neighborhood anticipating the opening of. It's been under reconstruction for a while, and in warm weather they have seating outside, so it's just a lovely place to have a coffee or tea and chat with your friends. And then why don't we go take a look at the giant sculptures known as pasmadinhos, which represent the different types of people you would find in this region, especially in former times. So we've got the vineyard keeper, we've got the orange grove keeper, we've got the friar or the father, we have, let's see, who else do we have? We have the sports fan. We have Setu, who is the famous singer from here, and a few other guys. Let's go take a look. Okay, we just walked past one of the many murals and street art that we have here in Setúbal. That particular piece was by Explicit Citizens, and they've been doing several different pieces in town. That depicts a lot of the wildlife, the wild boars and the red foxes and things like that you'll find up in the protected nature preserve area called Arrábida. And behind me is the Convento de Jesus, or the Monastery of Jesus, convent or monastery, it goes by both names. It was a convent, 1500s I believe. It just went through a full and extensive renovation, and it opened, unfortunately in 2020, they were going to do a big opening, and as you know, that was quite muted. But this is considered, if not the finest, one of the finest examples of Manueline architecture, which is native Portuguese Baroque. So it's very ornate, but it's also human scale. Not overwhelming, not too grand, just grand enough. The exterior and the interior are all made from the stone, the various stones and marble of this region. Inside, there's the most magnificent twisted columns. It looks as if they took stone and made it into rope and twisted it. It's beautiful. And then another thing that's very popular on my tour, because I like cafes, around the corner you can go into the convent where you can see the art gallery and such, and the interior courtyard. There's a beautiful cafe in there, so you can sit inside or out and have a coffee or a tea. So whenever we do a Shanna's Bossy Tour of Setúbal, we have to stop at Bloomy Market. This is my favorite place. It's plant-based, vegetarian and vegan. They make all their own homemade yummy things, from cakes to burgers to special of the day. And you'll find me here often. So let's go have some lunch. So after our lunch at Bloomy Market, which was delicious, we have found our way down here to the waterfront. The waterfront is quite expansive. This particular area is where a lot of the fishing industry is still located, and you can see some of the smaller boats, and then there are some commercial boats behind me. And these dolphin sculptures are painted by different artists who did them in different styles, but we actually do have a pod of 30 pink dolphins out in the Sado River and estuary. It's a protected zone, and it's just really rich with wildlife, migratory birds, all kinds of things. So, you know, no Bossy Tour is complete without a trip to the waterfront. So let's go. Okay, so we've just left the waterfront, but we're very close by, and we're headed to the Casa De Vaia. This is a bay protection organization, but they also feature local products that can be purchased from this area that are made in this region, and they have the most amazing hidden terrace for coffees, snacks, whatever. So this is the place I often take people because it's such a big wow once you get inside. Follow me. The Bay of Setúbal is known as one of the, what they call the most beautiful bays in the world. And this is a list of all of them. You can see we're up there, Setúbal, Portugal. Lots of places all over the world, but those who are in the know this as a very lovely bay. And it just goes on and on and on. Excellent place any time of the year to come and share a coffee or a tea with a friend, or an adult beverage if you prefer. Another one of our lovely murals. We are now entering what I consider the heart of Setúbal, the Praça do Bocage, named after Bocage, famous poet, statesman, lots of other things. There's, in fact, the convent that we just went past, there's a giant portrait of him and his muses. It's a definite must-see. So, again, the heart of the city right here, cafes, really all rimming the plaza, and then we have our beautiful purple City Hall. Who has a purple City Hall? We do. So that's a sneak peek of the City Hall, and it is located, as I mentioned before, in the Praça do Bocage, our main square here. And we're going to head over to another pretty magnificent renovated building, which is the Casa De Turismo, the tourist office. The tourist office used to be tiny, and it was in the City Hall, and now it's got its own dedicated building with a beautiful terrace up top for taking a drink, a snack, chat with friends, and you get the view over the square from inside. Let's go take a look. This building at one time served as a naval officers building, and it went into disrepair. It was in really bad shape. So the Câmara, the city, I don't know what they spent. They spent a lot bringing it back to life, and they have left a room for the officers so they have their own place to be. The colors are magnificent, and the decor, as you'll see when we go inside, is pretty fantastic. Plus, everybody in here is super helpful. You can pick up brochures, all kinds of things. It looks like now they're doing brunch too, so not bad for a tourist office. Let's step inside. Don't forget, so similar to the Casa De Vaia, which also functions in some ways as a tourist office, there's a local market with the regional wines and other things that are produced in this area. Setúbal is known for lots of varietals, specifically moscatel, and it's not the cheap moscatel that teenagers typically drink. It's really quite nice. And you'll see the beautiful bones of the building that they've refurbished and left intact here. Let's go upstairs. So the military club still has their own spot here. And there's free Wi-Fi and all of that. This is a nice place to come and read or work when it's raining. But when it's not, we have this gorgeous terrace. Take a look at this. Local cheeses, biscoitos, cookies, toasts, all kinds of things. Come along. And this. It's such a lovely vantage point to sit and, like I said, meet with people. It's the cafe culture is really strong here, and that's something that really draws me and keeps me here, because I just love wandering around, stopping, meeting friends and neighbors, and having a tea or a coffee. As we leave Casa De Turismo and head over to Casa de Cultura, the culture house, which is right behind the tourist office here, we come into a lovely square. Casa de Cultura does music events, art, photography exhibitions. Right now there's a design illustration festival. I believe they do this every year, and it takes place in a variety of venues around town. But anyway, concerts often happen upstairs, very intimate venue, maybe 30, 40 people. And then pre-COVID, when things are a little safer for larger groups to gather, in the summers there will be a stage here, and these roof lines are strung with lanterns and lights. It's absolutely beautiful. And there will be, I don't know, some just interesting musical act playing on a Friday night, and everybody comes out, families, kids, and it's a lovely addition, I think, to this community. And there is quite an art scene here, but you've got to know where to look, and I do. So, unfortunately, it's closed at the moment, and I wanted to take you in to see one of my favorite little secret garden cafes, but I guess maybe you'll just have to come to Setúbal and check it out. And this is the last stop on our little highlights tour. Please know that this is not a definitive tour by any means. It is just some of my favorites, and there's probably a dozen more favorites that I have that, you know, other than making this a full-length feature film, we are not going to drag you through town and do that. But also, one other thing I want to say is that I love the Portuguese people and the Portuguese language, and I love the country. I am doing my best to learn Portuguese, but if you are a Portuguese speaker or an expert in the language, please be kind. I know that my pronunciations are not perfect, but I'm getting there, and I'm an enthusiastic learner. So I appreciate your kindness.
So folks, I will leave links to everything in the description below, to your newsletter where you can find out more about Setúbal, to your offering, so you want to move to Portugal for people who are thinking of making the move, and to the tourist.
Yeah, so maybe tourist information for anybody that's curious to know more about this beautiful town that I live in.
So I hope you enjoyed that tour of Setúbal, folks, that video with Shanna. If you did, you know what to do. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you don't already, and it just leaves me to say, from Shanna and from me, thanks for tuning in. Oh, you're very good at that. You're getting very good.
You know, I think you're good at it, though. I think you're a little better at it than I am.
I have about 5 years practice.
Oh yeah, this is your channel,
this is
right?
My channel.
I thought it was...
No, everyone thinks it's your channel.
I know. Well, okay.
It's actually Dougal's channel.
It's Milo's channel.
Dougal's?
Milo and Dougal's.
Milo and Dougal's channel.
The Adventures of Milo and Dougal.
Yeah, we're just nobodies.
Yeah, we are.
Nobodies.
It's okay.
Nobodies.
It's okay.
Nobodies.
It's okay.
Okay. Should we go and get some food?
Yes, let's do it.